Welcome to Strange Bedfellows, a Julian Fellowes fan cast. I'm Kirt Graves.
And I'm Stefanie Jochman-Deepak. Today, we're discussing Season 1, Episode 4 of Downton Abbey.
Yes, we are. And as always, we just want to remind our listeners that we are going to spoil the heck out of this. So
Yes.
if you haven't watched the episode and you would prefer to do that before we talk about it, go watch the episode now and come back when you're ready to hear more about it.
Yes.
Yeah. So we start every episode with our 60-second recap. Are you ready?
All right. Here we go.
I'm excited.
Come one, come all to the Downton Village Fair. Try your hand at games of chance like secure the secretarial interview, find the loophole in the entail, get the attention of that kitchen maid you fancy, and pin the political movement on the new chauffeur. Rekindle the flame or rekindle the fire with an old flame or make a new connection with a lass that's been frosty. And if the lady's maid you've had your eye on feels a bit under the weather, there'll be stew aplenty to sneak up to her in the servants' quarters. You never know, you might just come home with a new frock, or with pants, or the swivel chair to surprise the elderly members of your family. There's something for everyone at the fair, but Rue is in bloom, so don't forget to wear your gloves.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Love that. Love that. Come one, come all. This
Yes.
Season 1, Episode 4 of Downton Abbey.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, first thought. Those village fairs must have been big business back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, once you make the rides and you can just set them up and take them from village to village and everybody comes and gives you their hard-earned cash, like...
There are lots of villages to visit.
Yeah, a transient lifestyle for sure.
Yeah.
A bit of a gypsy existence, but they must have been raking in the dough.
One would think it's a pretty good life, pretty exciting life. I feel like it comes to represent James Joyce has a really no, it's about a bazaar. I feel like it is like an attractive fantasy life. It's taking everyone out of the humdrum.
Yeah.
The doldrums.
Yeah. Well, and as we talked about in the last episode with Lady Mary, just like sitting in a room quietly, like there's no TV. So what else are you going to do? Like a fair comes to town and it's like, oh, awesome. Let's go do that fair.
Yeah. Everybody's going.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it makes it seems like such an exciting time. Makes you harken back to the days when the fair was.
I was going to say, I used to go to the fair.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The Sheboygan County Fair. It was an annual tradition, both as actually, I don't know that we went that much when I was a kid, but definitely as like a teenager and then like a young adult, like that was the thing to do.
Yeah.
The weekend the fair was happening because, you got to go hang out with your friends and just walk around and eat good food and see 4-H projects.
Yes. See your friends' art hanging on the wall with ribbons and it's just the lights. Like I have fond memories of just like the colorful lights of the amusement park at night. And we went when I was small. And then I think I went later as a teenager too. But yeah, there's real excitement because it's just so very different and you see so much in a day.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think this must have been a good business model for the folks packing up and moving from town to town to do the fair. Because it also didn't seem like it was there for a reason. And everybody sort of seemed like, oh, the fair is in town. So I think it literally was just pack it up and move it from place to place. And when you're there, that's when the fair is happening.
Yeah. And so you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, over at the house, Violet is once again scheming to undo the entail.
Yes.
But this time she's going to enlist Matthew's help. Matthew, who we will remember, is a solicitor, a lawyer, a lowly lawyer.
There are worse things he could be.
Yes, I suppose, than a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah.
And it's basically, she says, I think he's an honorable guy, a good person. I think he'll want to help us. So she's got his number and goes to him to say, like, if there's a way out of this, find it. I believe you will. I believe you don't want to inherit this unless it is truly 100% yours and there's no other way around it. And she's right. He looks into it. Long story short, there's nothing we can do. The entail is still solid. But we do have the lovely moment with her trying to sit in a swivel chair.
That's like that moment is iconic. Like when I think about this show and I think about the Dowager, I think about her really struggling in the swivel chair.
And of course, the design is blamed on the Americans.
Yes, because it was a design by Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
Matthew informs her.
Yes.
Mine
I'm
was-
sitting on one right now.
So am I.
I love
And-
being
and-
able to swivel.
Yes, and mine is quite squeaky, which hopefully listeners have not noticed. But
Fingers crossed.
yes.
Oh, what else is happening upstairs?
Also happening upstairs. Let's see. Oh, Mary gets the great line, "My life makes me angry." So amidst all of this
Yes, I love that.
discussion of the entail, you have Mary still dealing with the emotional fallout of Mr. Pamuk dying in her bed,
Mhm.
of, losing another suitor, of still not getting anywhere with her having really any control or power over her life and her future. And then you have Sybil going on an
Yes.
adventure in this episode. So I think that's the other upstairs business.
Yeah. Although it's already starting to blend with the downstairs business. Sybil is mixing with the new chauffeur. So we have the introduction of Alan Leach as Tom Branson.
Charming Alan Leach.
Yes. On this, we agree.
Yes.
Showing up as the revolutionary chauffeur, the Irishman.
Yes.
And he's quite keen to have this new position because his previous employer only had one car and wouldn't let him drive above 20, I think he says miles per hour.
Yeah.
So they
He doesn't say kilometers, does he?
hope I did not think about it until this moment. I'm like, wait a second. Did he say miles?
Huh.
He couldn't have. We must be misremembering. We're going to report back on this.
Yeah, listeners, feel free to leave a note if you remember.
Did it cut away and didn't show his face? And then we as Americans heard 20 miles per hour?
That could be.
Huh. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Anyways. So they meet. He hears that she's interested in politics and starts to share information with her, some pamphlets. And she is also asserting her independence by complaining about the clothes they have to wear. They're all the same. Can't we do something fun and new and exciting?
And corsets, why do they have to wear them? To shape themselves when men don't have to, and as she points out, could just as easily benefit from them.
Sure could. Yeah, sure could. I think the real question is, why aren't the men wearing them? Could make you look real smart in a suit coat if you just cinched the waist a little bit. Yeah. I think also, it's all sort of in the same vein. Again, we're mixing upstairs and downstairs, but like Mosley has a rash, and we see Isabel just like charging into action as the wife of a doctor and a nurse in her own right to quickly diagnose him with something called erysipelas. And goes right into the hospital, into the supply closet, is taking tinctures and essences of things, and is like, here you go, Mosley. Do what you got to do. And the doctor's like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing. That's fine. But it intersects with the upstairs more because later in the episode, Violet has a bit of a triumph.
Yes, in a very ironic twist, Violet, who had doubted all of Isabel's medical knowledge in the past, and then Isabel, who triumphed before.
Yes.
Suddenly, Violet says, it's a rue allergy. She looks at it for about 5 minutes, diagnoses it, tells him to put on gloves, says it'll clear up no problem.
Exactly. Listen, a really important part of any medical diagnosis, I know this because I watch a lot of medical shows, is to have the patient history and to understand their environment.
Yeah, and she does.
Isabel failed to do that because she failed to consider environmental factors.
And here is really points to Violet because she knows Mosley, she knows Mosley's family. And here we see the result of that long-time connection to the village.
Right. Exactly right. Yeah. So that was a lovely little moment for Maggie Smith to really chomp down on.
Yes.
Leave it to the professionals, she says to Mrs. Crawley. Like, geez Louise. Oy, oy. And then we have this really beautiful conversation. I think it's beautiful, between Mary and Robert at the end. And isn't it funny that, like, we just watched the third movie and we're still, like, it was still all about Mary and Robert and you know, taking over Downton. And here's her saying, like, basically, Dad, why aren't you fighting for me?
Yeah.
And he says, you know, there's nothing to fight. None of this is mine to give you. So he talks about fortune in this way. He says, my fortune is the work of others who labored to build a great dynasty. Do I have a right to destroy their work or impoverish their dynasty? I am a custodian, my dear, not an owner.
That line. Yeah.
Love that. And of course, they say dynasty.
Yes.
I just wanted to be very clear about what accent I was using there. Can't always be sure. But yeah, what a great lesson to say. Like, it's not, if it were mine to give, I would give it to you. None of this is mine to give you, including your mother's money, which when it was given to my father, he tied up into Downton Abbey.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. But then, of course, he says, but you know, you could marry Matthew. And Mary's like, well, she's not like, she says, you know my character, Father. I'd never marry any man I was told to. So bucking expectations is what keeps her from noticing that Matthew's got eyes for Mary.
Yes.
He's smitten.
Yeah. He's smitten and she might be warming up, I think.
I think she is, but of course she's fighting it.
Yes. And that
what's frustrating is she knows her own character enough to know why she's fighting this attraction to Matthew is because people expect it.
Yeah. And so the delicious tension that's going to be around for the rest of this season and a little bit longer emerges. And I feel like this blooming relationship, this breaking of the ice between them after the soap opera excitement of episode 3, this is really what kept me. I think in those moments that they, you know, and Robert is really smart. There are times when Robert is not smart in this show, but in this situation, he is very smart in that he could sort of break up their after dinner conversation that they're having at the house, because there's this whole scenario in which Mary is aware that Matthew's trying to help break up the entail, but Robert also wants to have a conversation with Matthew, and they're trying to keep Matthew from the dowager, right? And so Robert could walk in and end the conversation that Mary and Matthew are having at the end of all this, and he just lets it happen.
Yeah.
No, let them have a few more moments together. Let her really get to know who he is, and so some things can warm up.
Now, do you think it's because, like Cora, his hope is that they will find each other romantically, or do you think he simply wants Mary not to hate him?
Oh, good question.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it is. I think the romantic in me says he wants there to be some spark, or he wants them to marry. You know, it'd be convenient, and easier for all of them. But
this is where I say Robert is not smart often with understanding interpersonal relationships.
Okay, fair point.
He can't always see what's in front of him. And that's where I was looking at this and thinking, I think he just doesn't want, like, I think he knows that she will ruin her life by feeling negatively towards Matthew. Because the resentment will eat away at her forever. Yeah. And so even though she won't inherit Downton, she'll have to find a husband and go elsewhere. He just doesn't want her to hate the person who's in charge. because therefore she might end up hating the place she's from.
Oh, that's very deep.
So that's my take. Because again, mostly based on the fact that I just think Robert doesn't get it. He's just like, he never sees those things. He's always surprised, you know?
That's true. I feel like the Cora, the Dowager, the
Thomas
girl.
and Guy Dexter seem to be very close traveling companions. Like, you don't see it. So yeah, that to me, but it was an interesting moment for sure. And real quickly, just to wrap up downstairs, you mentioned it in your recap. Will shows up wearing pants. Gasp.
Yes.
Gasp.
Yes. Like a beautiful, they're like harem pants.
Yeah.
This is really the look. And a headband. And she's
two-toned, color block.
Yeah.
It was a look.
Yeah. It's a fun look.
Yeah, it was a lot of look. And of course, Tom Branson is right outside the window to see it.
Note here is Tom is a meme.
Yeah, he should. Yeah,
I think it's got to be somebody has to have it as a meme. Like, huh?
Just smiling, lopsided through the window as he.
For those of you listening, we are all mimicking Tom's sort of nod out the window.
Go look up what we're doing.
Yeah, it is a very kind of silly moment. It's like, what is the chauffeur doing outside the window? And enough people are looking in that direction. They should be saying something.
Well, you know what? The episode ends right there. So maybe what we miss is Edith being like, isn't that the chauffeur? What is he doing?
No cars parked outside this window.
Are the servants looking inside the windows now? It's not proper. All right, downstairs, we have some more drama.
Yes.
Anna is sick.
Yes.
Which, as you mentioned in the recap, really just serves to have Carson take care of her. It's
you mean
our
Bates?
moment. Thank you. Yes, Bates.
Yeah.
To have Bates step up to care for her, and so she could get that doughy look in her eyes and be like, he's a caretaker.
Yes. Well, and it's a nice little reversal of a moment that they shared earlier, right? Because she had brought him food either in the first or second episode. So he gets to return that favor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To see
that's right.
goodness.
She did do that in the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. It's, I remember watching this series the first time and just not getting Anna and Bates at all.
No?
Through the whole series, I didn't get it.
Really?
Well, I'm sorry to say that I looked at Joanna Froggatt and I looked at the actor who plays Mr. Bates, whose name I can't remember right now. Doesn't matter. They seemed of a disparate age.
And I think they are.
And one might say it's a bit of a mismatch in the looks department.
No.
Yeah. Mr. Bates, I mean, he's not a bad looking guy, but like Joanna Froggatt is beautiful. Like, I'm sorry, she could do better. She could do better. But in subsequent watches, I started to let go of my snobbery, my focus on aesthetics. As I aged, I stopped thinking so much about how they looked as a couple and started to focus in on how they would have felt about one another. Yeah. And it's moments like these that made me go, okay, I get it.
Brendan Coyle.
Brendan
is the
Coyle,
actor.
thank you.
Yeah. No, I think he has such a kind face.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, in any
Notice
moment.
You're not saying hot. You're not saying, wow, what a hot face.
No.
Again, he's not a bad looking guy.
No.
He's just not like, wow. And like, Joanna's so pretty.
He has such a strong, steady presence, though. And I think that for a woman can be really attractive.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Like, I will say, I would rather somebody have like that, just that strong character and presence. That I'm often more attracted to that if you're somebody who's like poster,
Mm-hmm.
hot. I'm like, no, not for me. It actually makes me kind of standoffish.
Yeah. Yeah. I also understand that. And again, I do think there's a difference in, as I aged, how I looked at their relationship. But I do remember very clearly the first time watching this being like, I just don't get it. He's not hot enough for her.
I think, and I think back to when I first watched, which was often, maybe I had like schoolwork in my lap. And so I was like part listening, part watching. That the kindnesses exchanged between them signaled to me, okay, this is something that I'm rooting for. So
yeah,
I did not have questions. Maybe I had questions about the age gap, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I care less about that now as an adult.
Yeah,
who experiences his own age gap. Sorry, honey, if you're listening. I know you hate it when I bring it up. But like now, I'm like, okay, that doesn't seem like that big of a gap. But when you're younger, it seems like, oh no. They're so different in age. And it's like, what, 8, maybe 10 years? Like, come on. It doesn't, like, come on.
Yeah.
By the time you're an adult, those things don't matter as much. So, speaking of romance, and frankly, a lack thereof, Mrs. Hughes goes on a date with her old beau, who is basically like, hey, you want to get hitched? I'm lonely.
I mean, yes, to some extent that is the extent of their conversation, but I don't know. You felt like there was no love there at all? No spark?
I don't think you can have love in one conversation. You can feel nostalgia for a love you experienced when you were much younger and very different people.
Okay.
But he also wouldn't even come out and say the words to her. He's just like, I think you know what I'm asking. And it's like, no.
That was a really excellent impression.
Say the words.
Yeah.
And you know, and at least she calls him out on it. And she's like, well, you haven't asked me anything yet. You know, like, yes, make him say it.
Yeah.
Which he never does.
I mean, he's a farmer in northern England in the early 20th century.
Mm-hmm. But how hard would it be? I mean, I get it. I got to put myself in the time and the place. I got to do it.
It would be.
But there's the part of me now that's like, how hard is it to be like, Elsie Hughes, I feel like we could love each other again. Will you come with me and live this life together? Yeah. I promise to be good to you.
Yeah. Well, and I think it says a lot about Mrs. Hughes that she asks him to say it. And that is a real signal of where he is, right, in life and where she is. She has lived this life where she sort of exists between these two stations and has seen this other world, has been around people who are maybe a bit more expressive of their feelings, although they tend to mask them too, right? But he's coming from a space in which no one would ever expect him to express those feelings. Nor would he maybe need to, because there's a different kind of language that people have.
Yeah, that's true. I accept all of that. But in this watch, it just struck me that like he's not even saying it. It just felt very unromantic to me, and I was like, well, of course she's gonna say no to this unromantic proposal. It sounded like a business proposal more than a romantic proposal.
Yeah. I think the first time I watched this, I really thought she might have said something. I feel like my brain went down the path of, well, will she still work there if she marries him, or is he going to stick around and we'll see how this relationship plays out? And I think her refusal surprised me that on my first watch.
Right. Well, because of course we don't know that much about her yet, and we will learn in later seasons why this job means so much to her and what she is providing for. It's actually hinted at in this episode, but we don't learn about it for a couple of seasons.
Right.
But yeah, it was. I just had a different take on it this time, where I was like, who is this guy just coming around and being like, yeah, we remember when we dated when we were young, and like in one night, I would like you to decide if you'd like to give up your whole life and come live with me instead. Yeah. You know? So, but again, it's nice to see her getting the storyline, and Phyllis Logan is one of the best on this show.
Yes.
And to see her having that moment as Elsie so early in the run of the show was really, I thought, special and interesting.
Yeah, very, very good. And I lost my thought, but she sort of brings things full circle from a conversation she had with Carson in episode, I think it was episode 1, where she asks him, have you ever thought about what you would do, like if you had another life? And here, now she's the one wondering, like, what would my other path have looked like? What could my life have been? I think this moment also connects to last episode we were talking about the bloom is off the rose as they're talking about Mary, right? And I think for her beau, it would be perfectly natural to expect a woman after, not seeing each other forever on one night asking her to marry him. It's natural for him to think that for her, this is the ultimate.
Sure.
Right?
Because that's what they were taught was the ultimate. I mean, even Mary talks about it in this episode that, like, I have no life until I get married. So if that's what he's thinking, she has lived this whole life, or she's lived all these years, but hasn't started her life yet. Here's my chance to give her a life. Then, okay, yes, that makes much more sense.
Yeah. So I think
then it almost does seem more like a business proposition.
Yeah. Would you like to elevate your station? Right? At least in the eyes of society.
Mm-hmm. True. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. I'm glad we talked about this.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing it from different angles now.
Okay.
And one more romantic relationship that's budding downstairs. Daisy has a thing for Thomas.
Which, I mean, this has been going on since the first episode, but it comes back. Oh, Daisy.
Oh, boy, is it strong now. And of course, Thomas can see that William has a thing for Daisy and is messing with him by
so cruel.
leading Daisy on and leading her right away from William.
Yep. Just taking total advantage of her attraction and using it to really torture William.
Mm-hmm.
Take command of him, telling him to smarten up in his uniform, feeling like it gives him this power over William that Daisy's attracted to him. And it's,
yeah. Thomas, not a nice guy.
No, in this season, he really is not.
Mm-mm. Yeah, not nice. I did make a note because they are starting to introduce the idea that Mrs. Patmore is having vision issues. And I said, even Mrs. Patmore can see why this won't work.
Yes. And she could from the start. And I really do. Yeah. I love that about Mrs. Patmore, that she just knows, has never made a thing of it. Doesn't go any further. Doesn't try to out him, but just understands and moves
You're
on.
You're not the girl for him. Significant look. You're not the girl for him.
Please catch on, Daisy.
No? Okay, great.
We'll try this again another day.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like being reminded of how terrible he is during this rewatch.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we come to like him.
Yeah.
But much later. Much later.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't like these reminders of, oh, he was really awful. And like, what has William ever... William is the sweetest.
He is. But at the same time, it's also very clear that Daisy is not interested. And so, okay, hear this.
Oh, okay.
Let's reframe the whole thing.
Okay.
Thomas sees that Daisy is not interested in William. And rather than let her experience the awkwardness of having to say to William, I'm not interested, and have William experience the heartbreak of her saying, I'm not interested, he steps in to divide them. So he's doing them a kindness.
That's Thomas in the movies. That is not Thomas now. Thomas now is not thinking that kindly. That was a good effort, but Thomas now, no. Yeah.
That subtext was too sub.
Yep.
Too far down.
Yeah. No, Rob James Collier's not giving us any of that.
No. Well, I tried. There was one other thing about the episode that I thought was important, transitioning back to the upstairs, is that Robert and Matthew take a tour of the estate because Matthew's starting to take an interest in more than just the Abbey, like the whole grounds. And he sees that things are starting to fall into disrepair. And he talks about, if you don't change, you die. And Robert immediately is like, I don't care for change. So already we're seeing them butt heads about the future of Downton, and that, Matthew is coming with this outside perspective, having not lived there, having not a lot of sentimentality about the estate, and seeing that there are things that need to be changed so that everything can be improved and that this place can survive. And already we're seeing Robert be like, no, do it all the same. Just keep the status quo.
So that conflict is building there. And what's interesting is they have this conflict, but then he speaks well enough about Matthew that it leads to that moment of Mary crying, Matthew, 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 right? That he's really taken over as the favorite child in her father's eyes, right? Or the son he never had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, because at this point, she really has no right to inherit, and why would she be having these thoughts about the estate? And the fact that Robert's impressed by Matthew's intellect and planning and the way he speaks to him, it's like, well, yeah, Mary doesn't even have the opportunity to impress you. You don't give your daughters an opportunity to impress you.
And I just love the depth that she's been so steely. And we see the fragility underneath all of that in this episode, because she knows she's on shaky ground.
Indeed. And she's so shook up from the events of the last episode.
Yeah.
Which Violet does not understand. You shouldn't get this upset about everything. What is the line? One can't go to pieces at the death of every foreigner. Oh, Dowager Countess, if only you knew why she's gone to pieces.
Yes, exactly. So jumping around a bit, coming back to Sybil and Branson and the new dress and new political thinking and whatnot, they have a moment where they're talking about the suffragists. And Edith says, chained, or I hope you won't be, or I won't be chained and force-fed semolina, which is a line and a reference that I did not catch any of the earlier times that I had watched. And so here she's referring to the hunger strikes that a number of suffragists partook in, that these women were force-fed. Like, they were in jail, they went on hunger strikes, and then they had tubes shoved down their throats, like force-fed semolina. And Edith kind of makes light of it in this moment.
Yeah.
And it was a shocking thing for her to do, given where we know she ends up. Really sort of being the strongest women's rights advocate in the family.
Yeah.
She sort of
there is a time when she will take up Sybil's mantle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That I just wrote, Edith is so sour.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has this line, it's like, oh my gosh, like, can we not admire what these women have gone through and what they're doing really on your behalf?
Interesting. I did not catch that line.
Yeah, that was it. It just stuck out, and I went, "Oh my gosh!" And now I know what she's referring to, and wow.
Mm-hmm.
Other line that I loved is Cora's advice, to be kind to Matthew because one day you may need him.
And see, this is where I really think she sees the romantic possibility more than Robert. I think there is subtext to that. You may need.
She's suggesting more than one.
I think I think what her motivation for getting Mary to open up to Matthew. I think her motivation is stay nice to him, stay kind. He may see you in a different light. You may see him in a different light. She can't say that outright.
That's true.
But she can say, you may need him. Appealing to the fact that, like, right now she feels like she will gain nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, okay, if you're going to depend on somebody, don't be a DICK to the person who you might need someday.
It's good advice.
Yeah.
And she does it while wearing a gorgeous beaded gown. I am all for these like beaded overlays in the gowns this particular season. That I wrote it.
Yeah.
I love these beaded gowns. Like, yes, please just give me a beaded sheath. Beautiful.
See, and this is why it's important that we're both doing this, because I am not a fashion girly, so I'm not paying that much attention to the costumes unless it's like Sybil coming out in pants and they're like, look at what I'm wearing. You know? So
shocking.
It's good to have that perspective.
Yeah, stay tuned, listeners, for me just drooling over all of Bertha's outfits in the Gilded Age.
Yeah, right.
Because Kirt has had to deal with this in our text chain already.
Yeah, but those really are their own character. Like, Gilded Age is if Downton Abbey and Sex and the City had a baby.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Well said.
So, and we'll get to it.
Yes.
We'll get to it.
Yes. Well, the other thing to know is that, Sybil's helping Gwen to try to secure this secretarial
Yes, that storyline
interview.
Continues. Yes,
yeah,
that's right.
So that continues, and Tom, we'll see, will get involved in that plot, but stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right. Well, every episode, one of us is challenging the other to a trivia question related to the Julian Fellowes property we're discussing that week. Could be an actor, it could be the production, the time period. Possibilities are endless. So first, let's take a listen to my answer to Kirt's question last week.
This week, I have a question for Stefanie.
All right.
Are we ready?
Yes.
All right. Gwen is trying to raise her position by learning to use a typewriter. Although our modern QWERTY keyboards still resemble the early typewriters, there are some notable differences. There was no delete or backspace key, for obvious reasons. But early versions also lacked what numeral?
Oh, this is a good question.
Thank you.
I'm going to say 0.
0. Very good guess. Because they could replace it with a capital O. But it's not the right answer. Because it's actually the number 1. Because they could replace it with a lowercase l.
Oh, fascinating.
Right?
Yes. Right? Great question.
Thank you.
I learned something today. All right, listeners, did you get it right? Follow us on Instagram at Strange Bedfellows. That's Fellows with an ES, where we'll be posting the trivia question and the answer each week. This week, I have a question for Kirt.
I'm so excited.
All right, are you ready?
I am.
Here we go. We'll see. Okay, there are a number of Ted Lasso Downton Abbey crossovers. Probably the most notable being Jeremy Swift, who's Sprat, and then the sort of general manager of the Greyhounds, or the PR department of the Greyhounds on Ted Lasso. But Bill Fellowes, who plays Mrs. Hughes' old flame in this episode of Downton Abbey, is also an important character in Ted Lasso's Greyhound lore, one who in some ways paved the way for Ted's place on the team. So what role did Bill Fellowes, no relation to Julian Fellowes?
Really? That's funny.
Yeah. What role, and his character is named George Cartrick. I don't think that gives anything away. What role did he have on the team? So tune in next episode to find out if Kirt got it right. And if you think you know the answer, find this week's question over on Instagram and put your answer in the comments.
This has been another episode of Strange Bedfellows. You've heard our thoughts, and now we want to hear yours.
The best way to get in touch with us is on Instagram. Again, that's at Strange Bedfellows with an ES in Fellows, or email us at strangebedfellows@gmail.com. You can also find our personal social media links in the show notes.
If you would be so kind, please rate and review the show wherever you're listening to us right now, and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Thanks for listening.
We're off to the fair.
Bye.